Good morning, everybody. And it's a church-going crowd. Well, welcome today to today's press announcement introducing the newest member of the GW family. My name is Bob Chernak. For those of you who don't know me, I'm, as Senior Vice President, responsible for overseeing the Department of Athletics and Recreation. And in that capacity, I had the opportunity to lead a national search for the successor to Jack Kvancz, who all of you probably know, last February announced that he was going to be retiring from his position here at GW after 17 years of service to this institution, marked by several accomplishments and exceptional leadership. And I certainly want to thank Jack for all those years of dedicated service to the university. His friendship will always be something special to me, and I'm sure that that will continue for many years to come, as Jack has also agreed to stay on beyond June 30th in a special advisor capacity to help with the pending transition. Now, Jack's legacy made my job in the national search easy, because this was a job that was viewed by many as one of the best athletic jobs in America. We, in March, engaged the services of a consulting team, the Perkins team, that helped us with the logistics of the search, which was conducted at a national level. Two of the principals of that firm are here today, Lou Perkins and Tom McElroy, and their expertise and counsel in helping us with the logistics of the search and in cultivating a truly exceptional pool of candidates made this a very difficult decision. But at the end of that process, there was one of the candidates left standing, as is usually the case in these kind of processes. And we are so fortunate that that candidate who we selected viewed GW also as the best opportunity for employment as he assumes a new career here in Foggy Bottom. Now, there are some special people here today that I do want to recognize. I see Bernadette McGlade, the Commissioner of the Atlantic 10. I know that you rearranged your schedule to be here today, and I'm sure that all of us appreciate your attendance. And next to Bernie is a gentleman who flew up from Florida yesterday, very proud dad of the selected candidate, William Nero, who himself had a very long and distinguished career at Providence College. So thank you for being here for a special day for your son. I guess I would be remiss if I didn't point out my appreciation and thanks to the highest levels of the university governance for their support in this search. It starts with trustee and chairman of the board, Russ Ramsey, and trustee and chairman of our Athletic Strategic Planning Committee, Randy Levine, both of whom, I might add, are GW alumni and former student athletes. And their involvement and interest in this search helped us reach the successful conclusion that it did. And most importantly, I want to thank GW President Steven Knapp, whose enthusiasm and commitment to this search process to enable us to do the national search that resulted in the identification of an extremely good fit for GW and an exceptionally well-qualified candidate is something that you don't always find at the presidential level, and I certainly thank you for that. And so, having said that, let me introduce to you the president of the George Washington University, Dr. Steven Knapp.
Thank you, Dr. Chernak. It is a very exciting morning, and I'd like to join Bob, in welcoming you and thanking everyone who's been part of this process and is here today. I want to thank our coaches and athletics staff, our student athletes, the Board of Trustees, whose role was, I think, eloquently stated by Dr. Chernak, and of course the University administration who's participated in this process as well. We have actually underway right now a very large number of members of our university community who are engaged in the strategic planning process. In fact, we're having later today the second of a pair of town hall meetings so we can gather advice from all the members of our community in this process. Also very glad to see Commissioner McGlade here today for rearranging her schedule, and very glad that you could be with us, Mr. Nero, as well. So especially, though, I want to thank Jack Kvancz for not only for his long service and his leadership that he's provided. He certainly has helped to educate me about the conference, about Division I athletics, and about the history and the depth of the athletic traditions here ever since I arrived almost 4 years ago. And I'm also grateful for his generosity in remaining on board past the date of his retirement later this spring. He'll remain on board as a kind of advisor to our programs during the transition to new leadership here. So, Jack, thank you very much for all that you've done for the George Washington University. Well, now it's my pleasure and privilege to announce the selection of Patrick Nero as George Washington's next athletic director. Patrick rose to the top of an outstanding pool of candidates. He has all the right skills and experience and a strong commitment to excellence and the academic success of our student athletes. He's currently the commissioner of the America East Conference, and before that served as athletic director at the University of Maine and as senior associate athletic director at the University of Miami. He brings to his new position 23 years of experience in intercollegiate athletics, including numerous leadership roles within the NCAA, an extensive fundraising and compliance background, and a strong grasp of the role of athletics in the university as a whole. I'm impressed by his strategic vision, and I look forward to working with him to build the future of athletics at George Washington. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, please join me in welcoming George Washington's next athletic director, Patrick Nero.
Thank you. Well, good morning. It's great to be here. It's great to be part of the GW family. As Bob Chernak said, not only is this a terrific and what I see is one of the best athletic directors' jobs in the country, but for me, just as importantly, one of the great universities in the country. And that's what attracts me and brings me here today. A few acknowledgments before I have some brief comments. First, to President Knapp, thank you very much for your support and for this opportunity. I have one goal in working with you and working with the university is to make you as proud of the athletic program as you are the rest of the campus, and we will live up to the expectations and the mission of this university. To Bob Chernak, it's been a terrific, brief, but quick search and just incredibly professional, honest, open, and just been great to work with you these last couple weeks, and I look forward to working for you and with you in the coming years. There were 2 trustees, as President Knapp said, that were involved and really gave me a good amount of time, a good amount of openness, and they promised their support, and we will certainly take them up on that offer. But Russ Ramsey, chairman of the board, who was really very, took some great time to just sit down and speak with me and give me his thoughts, and certainly Randy Levine, who took some time out of his crazy schedule to spend with me and give me his views and really share his passion for this university. So to both of those gentlemen, thank you very much. To our search consultants, 2 gentlemen that, you know, we see them now as search consultants, but I've seen them for many, many years as leaders within intercollegiate athletics, Lou Perkins and Tom McElroy, who I've observed and known for many years and admired their commitment to intercollegiate athletics. Certainly to Jack Kvancz, thank you not only for your help and your conversation, but more importantly, for the last 17 years and what you've built here. And I will respect that and do everything I can to live up to what you've set for me. My dad, just great to have him here. You know, he obviously is most responsible for me being here in so many different ways. But he taught me the most important thing, and that is the value of education and the value of higher education. And that will be the basis of all of our decision making. To Bernadette McGlade, who's been a great colleague and friend and just a tremendous support system well before the last week or so since this came up, but she's just been great to work with, and I'm really looking forward to that relationship. And then two other folks that haven't been mentioned, but that have been in my life, one for many, many years and one a little bit more recently, and I'm just really fortunate that they're both local athletic directors who mean a great deal to me. First, Charlie Brown, the athletic director at UMBC. Charlie, if you can say hello. Charlie not only has become a great friend and supporter, he has chaired our athletic director committee the last couple of years, so we've worked closely together. But as I told Charlie last night, I will rely greatly on him as I move into the newer areas of intramurals and student wellness and recreation, because Charlie is I consider one of the best at that, and I've observed that, and I've watched his care for all of his students on his campus, and I want to make sure I take full advantage of that, and he knows I will. I've done that to him many times. And then lastly, I still call him a young man, though he's probably not that young anymore, a guy that I've really grown my career up with since we were together at Providence 25 years ago, and it's just, I really feel fortunate that he's down the street, and that's Jim Paquette, the athletic director at Loyola Maryland, and who we talk regularly and probably will talk even more so and just rely on each other. So I want to thank all of you for being here. It means the world to me, and just reinforces what makes all of us strong, and that's the people around us and that support us. And then lastly, I know we're being video streamed, and just to everyone, my athletic directors, especially the 9 presidents who I've worked for in America East, the staff at America East, all of my family and friends, I'm definitely grateful for all they've done for me to bring me here today. I'll take 2 minutes for some brief remarks and then open up to questions. Just maybe divide what I see as responsibility in the future, near future and long future. First, as I mentioned, the recreational sports, the wellness of our faculty, student athletes, faculty, students, everyone involved on this campus. I'm committed to that. It's how I live my life. We need to be well balanced. We need to do our best to stay in shape and stay healthy. And so I have a lot to learn there in regards to GW and the Learner Center and those areas, but you certainly have my commitment there. We have 32 club sports teams who I'm sure all those students take what they do very seriously, and I look forward to working with those student athletes, those students and coaches to provide any support and direction that I can to them. And then lastly, intercollegiate athletics. It's where I've spent about 23, 24, 25 years, if you count my years as a student assistant at Providence. And it's my passion, and it's where I will give a great deal of attention to. And as I said earlier, I think you'll learn pretty quickly that most decisions or all decisions will be based on our students and what's best for them and how we allow them to achieve at the highest levels. We will make sure that they have every resource to be as successful as they can be in every which way. And that will start with their academics and then really help them be impactful and feel good about their involvement in the community. And then certainly incredibly important that we give them every success. They are every chance for success. They are Division I student athletes. They come to George Washington to be competitive, to be successful, to win championships, and that will be very, very important. I think we're in one of the best intercollegiate athletic conferences in the country, and I certainly feel that if we can be competitive and at the top of the Atlantic 10 in every sport, and that will be our goal, then we can be very competitive regionally and nationally. And so it will start with working with Bernie and studying a lot of different things. I hopefully will bring that insight of understanding our competition and making sure our student athletes and our coaches have everything they need to be successful in the Atlantic 10. Okay? So at this time, let me see if I can find Dave. I'm free to answer any questions.
Okay, if you have a question, let me know and I'll hand you the mic. Byron?
Patrick, it's nice to meet you. I'm Byron Kerr from Sports Radio 106.7 The Fan and the voice of the Colonials basketball team. It's an honor to have you here in Foggy Bottom. Do you see similarities between your work at the America East in a busy landscape in sports and trying to raise the profile of the conference with what GW has to go through here in Washington, D.C. in a sports landscape that also is pretty busy?
Yeah, you know, a little bit in the America East, but I would also say to you, if you, you know, from my background standpoint, and it's why I think I'm a pretty good fit here, my years at Providence, Marquette, Miami, 3 private urban universities that compete, especially Marquette and Miami, with professional sports teams and understanding the need to do everything you can to become relevant in that market. So I do think that the stops along the way have certainly prepared me for that aspect of the job.
Hi, Elizabeth Trainer, GW Hatchet. You spoke about you want us to be competitive in every aspect of the A10, and I think that's something that everyone is looking for from our teams. Do you have any kind of specifics for this direction? Anything that you have in mind that you're bringing to the table? Anything that you think we've been doing well?
Sure. I think, first of all, the fact that the university has undertaken a strategic planning process for the athletic department, and every indication from the trustees to the president to Senior Vice President Chernak is that that process is to do exactly that, and that is strengthen the programs and to make the programs competitive. So I think it starts there. And I do know that part of that process, which I will be involved in, is to compare the resources that our student athletes here at GW and our coaches have compared to the other schools at the Atlantic 10. So I think it'll take me, you know, obviously some time and participate in this process. But that, to me, is step one, making sure we're being given the tools, and our student athletes and coaches are being given the tools to be successful.
Good morning, Mr. Nero. I'm Nkwa Sonia, Sports Director at WRGW District Radio. One question I have, what particularly can you take from your tenure at the University of Maine, where you had one of your teams be runner-up for the NCAA championship in ice hockey? What necessarily can you take from that tenure and bring to the George Washington community?
Sure. I would say definitely at Maine, from my standpoint, but probably one stop before at Miami. Being in a successful athletic program, the one thing you take away pretty quickly when all of your teams start winning is that a culture of winning has been established. And I think what you see is if you're giving those resources to all of your programs and you're setting expectations and you're making sure that the tools are there for success, that it becomes contagious and that there's pride there. And to me, it's the most important piece is just making sure that expectations meet resources and that expectations are set and that people know that they're there to win and we want them to win and that we're behind them. So I think it's contagious. Winning is certainly contagious.
Something else that's talked about a lot is connecting the undergraduate population with our athletes and, you know, really bringing the fans to the games, bringing the fans to events. It's something that sometimes I think we struggle with a little bit, bringing the undergraduate fans to our sporting events. So do you have any ideas or a vision about how to really connect the undergraduate population with our athletics program?
Yeah, I would say, you know, as over the next couple of months as we begin to develop some priorities, when we talk about resources and support for our student athletes and our teams, creating a home field, home court advantage has to be high in the priorities. And the number one target there has to be our students. I think we need to create an environment that gives our student athletes a lift and at the same time makes this a difficult venue to play no matter what sport. So I don't have any specifics yet. I need to spend some time with the folks in the marketing area.
Any more questions? Okay.
That's good. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Patrick. There is going to be a meet and greet reception downstairs in the Colonials Club following the conclusion of this press conference. Nikki, I think you have a package that we'd like to bring up here. Patrick, we have a few welcome gifts for you. Actually, there's also one hat in there for your father, William. So down in Florida, you know, the sun is hot, and we want him advertising GW University down in southern Florida. Actually, with Fort Myers. We have a lot of students that come from Fort Myers, so we want to just keep the visibility up down there. So I just want to remind you that we have that reception at the conclusion. Go downstairs, take the time to meet our newest appointed Director of Athletics, Patrick Nero. Thank you.